I'm Sydney Pons, a PhD candidate in the School of Hospitality Management at Penn State. Welcome to Pedagogy On-the-Go, a podcast where we explore creative, practical, and sometimes unexpected teaching strategies in hospitality higher education. In today's segment, we're going to focus on a tool that might look simple at first glance, but does more work than you'd expect. Today, we're talking about Jenga, and I'm joined by Dr. Michael J. Tews, a faculty member in the School of Hospitality Management at Penn State. Jenga has been something that we've been experimenting with together in our classes. So I'm really excited to dive into this one because it's such a simple tool that's become one of our regular go-tos. So, Dr. Tews, why the heck did you start using Jenga in the first place in the college classroom of all places?
Do you want to know the real answer or the theoretical answer?
Probably both, but let's start with real and then we'll get theory.
Okay, I think the real answer is I was getting bored, they were getting tired.
Period. Okay.
So, I just like to say class is class, school is school, work is work. I do take education seriously. I do believe in having a structured and educational classroom experience. At the same time, I think that learning, particularly in a college setting, is social, and I like very group-oriented classroom settings. And I think it's good to make connections in the college classroom. I think it helps to make learning itself better. And I think, these relationships can extend beyond the classroom.
And I think for our classroom specifically in hospitality, we have to have some sort of active nature. Just this is the way our students are wired. Mm-hmm. So what I'm envisioning is a college classroom, you come in and there's Jenga on the table and you just start playing. For how long?
All right. So, to make this thing work, if you want to make it work, you have to have Jenga sets for groups. So one thing I always really try to get is classrooms with tables. So that's a necessary condition. And then you need Jenga sets. And this is how it works. I just don't do Jenga for Jenga's sake. Jenga has a set number of bricks, 52, 54, don't quote me. I number the bricks. I have little labels, 150X, put them on the bricks. And then on a call sheet, I have sets of questions. Okay. And in the first iteration of how I do this, I do it as icebreaker questions, fun questions. What's the best part of your day? What's the highlight of your week?
Okay, so just questions that they can answer quickly. It's not taking much cognitive thought, but it's a reflection about them, getting to know each other type of deal. Mm-hmm.
And the idea is to make it light. It could be just Jenga, and that's fine. That could be super light. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I want to get the brain moving a little bit.
Get them talking, too.
Get them talking, get them moving. And we've all been in classrooms where we had to answer those questions like barf, like what's the highlight of your week, going around the room, feeling really self-conscious. Yeah. And I think these questions, have value. I think they're fun and they're ways to get to know each other. Mm-hmm. But I think the way to do it is in a small group setting and in a playful setting. So that's why I think Jenga and things like this can really work in this regard.
So you said that you've done icebreaker type of questions. Mm-hmm. Have you done or tried maybe content related questions? Does that work, or is there limits to the magic of Jenga, one could say?
Okay, so I'm not going to give any hard and fast rules. I can only talk from my own experience. I've tried it with hard questions, like with exam review questions. And that did not work as well, and I probably will not take that approach again. Mm-hmm. What I found is it slowed down the game, and they were struggling, and they just needed help. They weren't fluent in it. Yeah. So I was felt like that was mixing instructional goals and objectives.
Yeah, I could see that.
What I do is I can use it to open a topic. Yeah. So let's say it was the first day of class. In there, I'll do a mix of questions like related to get to know you. What's the highlight of your week, what superpower do you want? And then I'll also ask some questions about HR.
Yeah.
Like,
Little
broader, just to get them thinking about it. Like, what's the best part about working?
Mm-hmm. What is your perception of what HR does?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can use it to open the room.
Yeah.
And it works well if it's fast, peppy, and the students are playing. I think for me, and this is just how things unfold in my classroom, I think a good 10 to 12 minutes of doing this stuff. Mm-hmm. Like some students could play it forever, but games are not for everybody.
Yeah.
So this still could be like, forcing people to do stuff.
So you're saying it needs to be kind of a quick segment of class, but I'm wondering, I guess, when in the semester do you think it's best to bring out the Jenga blocks? Or are there multiple times that you can bring them out? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so this gets at the larger question of how many times can you pull out a trick? And then it also gets out at the larger question of reading your room and reading the emotional energy of the class.
Yeah.
So in my HR class, I pull it out first day of the semester. Like, great, icebreaker stuff, go wild.
Getting to know each other, get them talking, familiar.
And now I'm going to pull it out, and we're getting close to mid-semester. Mm-hmm. Exams are coming, it's getting a little bit stressful. And I'm going to pull out this stuff to, re-energize the room a smidge. Mm-hmm. Like, not a ton. I can't be playing games all the time. But also to make some content that's ordinarily boring a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I would imagine it's a good way to review and also get your peers' responses and help on questions that maybe you're struggling on, and to establish that peer support. So what other things besides interacting, what does it do at the end of the day for the classroom?
I think it makes it light, makes it fun, and it makes learning less suck. And I think it works toward just reinforcing and building those relationships and creating that vibe in the classroom. And I think at a broader level, what we're doing as educators, it's just not hammering home information. Mm-hmm. It's teaching critical skills, thinking skills. Everything's going to be subject dependent, but we're teaching some content, but also we're creating an experience for them. And one thing I want to highlight too, the experience is not always just fun at all times. Mm-hmm. Like, fun has its place, and then we move into the learning stuff. And fun can be playful in learning, but fun cannot save the day when it comes to learning. It cannot carry the show.
Well, I absolutely agree with that but I think that Jenga is one of these ways that we can lead into harder content throughout the day, and also just a way to break up the classroom flow and put some energy into the class, have the students doing something they didn't expect to do with a game that they probably recognize from their childhood.
And one thing that I want to end with, this is an activity that I have a lot of faculty members knocking on my door to borrow. Mm-hmm. So it has easy transportability, I think, and applicability across domains. All you need is a Jenga set, some numbers on the Jenga,
a label maker,
and some fluency with ChatGPT and a few prompts, and you can get some fun, creative, innovative questions that can fit your learning context.
Absolutely. I totally agree that this is one of those tools that you can use across different types of class content. You can have this in your tool belt no matter what you're assigned to teach. So it's definitely in my tool belt. Thank you so much for introducing me to Jenga and my journey. Sometimes the simplest tools end up doing the most work. Jenga might look like just a game, but when it's used intentionally, it can shape energy, participation, and connection. Dr. Tews, thank you for diving into this with me today. And to our listeners, if you try Jenga, we hope it sparks some new energy and interaction in your space. Thanks for listening and joining us on Pedagogy on the Go. We'll see you next time.